Hey everybody. Rich is in here. Pete is in here, but it's all good. We're still going live. Hello. Welcome
Oh,
everybody to
hang on a
Evercast. We're a
second.
few people
I'm hearing
short,
everything twice,
but it's all
and I
good.
just realized why.
Here's Crow, our audio expert. I love
Well,
when
I
dude
was
setup
like, wow,
changes
it's
all
like
the
this must be a
time.
new version of the song because it's like doubling on top of each other. I forgot I left the window open for this stream.
That's funny. You thought like it's a remix. No wait.
Well, I didn't really think it was a remix.
Uh,
I was like, why is every? I thought you hit the button twice or something, and it wasn't until like you didn't mention anything I realized. Wait a minute, did I leave that window open?
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Never ending entertainment from Crow here. Someday I'll get my left and right straight on camera. That's all weird. Good morning, everybody. Um, yeah, no, Pete had a thing. He's going to some retro show. God, I literally like forget and like seeing some family, which is awesome. I know Rich went to too many games. On his channel, he put out some shorts, so he may or may not. He may or may not
So
stop.
he has too many games. I got it.
Too
He's
many
buried in them. He
games,
can't get out.
right? I see the chats trickling in here and all that, and we'll say hi. We'll say hi to the chat and talk about some things
Yeah, I
and
have no
whatnot.
idea what's been going on this week. I've been really busy, so I haven't even looked at YouTube in like 3 days. Ever since I posted
Dang.
my last video, I was like, I'm so busy.
No, I hear you. Life happens. Actually, and speaking of busy, yeah, we'll talk about that for the next couple Evercasts and stuff. I have to kind of talk about because I know I'll be busy with some stuff. So we'll put a pin in that. We'll talk about that. We'll go over my polls, of course. We always have that. There wasn't really much, if anything, in the news, but I know there'll be other stuff we can talk about. But yeah, no, I literally don't know if Rich is gonna join or not today. I haven't gotten any message from him, which it's all good. It's all good. All right, so let's say hi to the chat.
Hi, chat.
You're like, okay, we're done. No, goodbye, everyone. No, too much, too much. No introduction. Not Double Dragon 1, not Double Dragon 2, but Double Dragon 3. You can tell I love saying that. We got Dan Dastic. We've got Nicholas Skippins. We got Jen Joke.
He says he's looking forward to an awesome show. When is that going to happen?
Hey. We got Lee Delve. We got Jason Shears. We've got, and I do apologize if I mispronounce, Ross Pati Cohead again.
I'd say Raskaposti Cody.
There you go. What he said.
Why
Thank
not?
you. Apologies. And Ian Hobby's in the house. That ballistic coffee boy. We got my cock hurts is in the house. And yes, we did start on
And
time.
well, he's not. You shouldn't be so surprised. It's been happening more frequently recently.
Yeah. True. We got Stevie Graphic 16. We got Lemony Pie. We got Darren Chapman, and that's everybody for now. So good morning, good evening, not yet good
And
night.
Ballistic Coffee Boy.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who don't know, Ballistic Coffee Boy, he recently just reached 1K subs on his channel. So congrats to you, sir. That is awesome. I'm slightly trailing behind you, and actually, I will have some channel stuff to talk about here. So yeah, other than your week being busy, Crow, anything interesting, cool, neat, special, weird going on?
Well, I'm heading to a wedding, like literally, like right after this. So that's part of the reason why I've been so busy this week. It's not like it's one of my cousins, but since so many people are in town, I've been going out and like every day to like like I haven't seen my uncle in like 2 years. So I hang out there like last night with dinner and stuff. So Yeah, I just really wanted to get that last video up. It took me a while. The Indie Heroes one, I was actually done with it like on Monday, but it took me like 2 days to actually get it exported without problems. I don't know why, but I was exporting the video and it was just coming up with just audio, no video. So I'm like, oh, how do I fix this? And I kept trying it. Like, I can't remember what I did eventually to get it to work, but I'm going to have to rethink the way I export videos just because there's so many sections with so many different templates and stuff being assigned to everything that I guess it was just too much for it to do the whole video all at once. So I might just start doing it in the portions that I do it in and then combining them all together after the fact.
We love the world of editing. Yeah. Yes, Atari Creep, of course. Hey, you know what? That's cool that you're shipping it. I'm sure they'll they'll enjoy it. appreciate your honesty. Oh, so Retro Rich. So I was saying, I know he went to too many games, and I think he might have been out like late or what. Rich has had a crazy busy week, so much that we weren't able to do. I've been kind of busy myself. We weren't able to do calling on retro gamers, and we pushed that off until next week. And everybody's been.
It's the summertime. Busy. We shouldn't be so busy. We should be
right?
less busy.
right. So yeah. Before we get into some of the things, so speaking of busy and doing family things and stuff. So I know that. So next week for Evercast, I won't be here. Rich will be hosting it. Pete and Crow will be here. Then the week after that, me and Pete won't be here. We'll be in undisclosed locations, and it'll just be. I believe it'll just be Rich and Crow, or we may push that one off. I don't know. I'll have to.
I guess it depends on if Rich is available or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Rich are not available, then it ain't happening.
Right, Crow's always available.
Yeah, I don't have any passwords or anything for your channel, and I don't desire.
I know. To. It's the limit. You know what? It's the limitation of StreamYard, which is weird because StreamYard you just get added like there isn't. If there was like.
Oh, okay. Well, I know nothing about StreamYard really.
Yeah.
Other than how to log on to it and.
Like they give you like it's weird, like you get like a pin sent to your email or something. It's a little bit. Yeah, you can only have like two users. It's okay. I'm sure if we don't have it, you'll probably go live on your channel.
I don't know. I only did that last time because there was a game of the month. So if there's a game of the month I hadn't streamed, that would be a good opportunity for me to do so. The last one I wound up doing doing Big to Small. I did a stream on Big to Small on Monday because I had that day off. And I figured, oh, okay, I'll stream that game then. I didn't realize like what kind of puzzle game it was going to be. So it's so weird. I'm sitting there trying to think of the solution to the puzzle, and I'm like, this has gotta be not like interesting for anybody. They'll sit there and watch me think on how to solve a puzzle.
Gotcha. Actually, I purposely haven't been playing Big to Small. Actually, I'll tell you what I've been playing. Actually, kind of a recent discovery for me in Evercade. Like I knew it. Like I'll get to it in a moment. Like I knew the game, but I've been playing it a lot because I didn't realize there's more to it. So yeah. So as far as for up, yeah, it'll be Skeleton Crew Evercade. I will say that next week too, for being busy. Next week's video, it's for me. It's and I'll say at the end for those who join late. It's just going to be a minute trailer. Which I do apologize for the shorter content, but man, doing something like that, like it takes it like when you're trying to like put together like little like small clips.
Oh, yeah, when you're trying to put together
Rich.
Something.
It takes a while to do editing. So yeah, next week will just be a trailer, and then after that, I think I will have a chill and chat.
Well, sometimes it's just hard to cut stuff because like
yes.
I've gotten more used to it. But you're like, I filmed that. I want to show it. But I've done stuff where I've like spent hours working on like a portion of it, and I'm like, well, no, it doesn't really like nobody's gonna be interested in this, and I just throw it all away.
We were talking about you, Rich. I was like telling people that you were like in a too many games and you're probably busy. I was like he's so busy he hasn't contacted me yet. So I'm like I think he might be here. No, so we were just telling people that like since me and Pete will be in like some undisclosed locations that next Evercast he will be here. It'll be like the three of you, and then maybe the one after that we'll talk more online. It might just either be you and Crow, or we might actually skip. We kind of
yeah. Pete was here in the intro. Then I realized he left the iron on. He had to go.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. He's having family in town. And he's going and some Canadian retro thing. Dang it, I can't remember the name. but
Vancouver something or other. I
yeah,
just said
yeah, yeah.
Vancouver. So it's not really undisclosed.
Yeah. But yeah, and I would just say, like, for those who haven't seen Richard Short, like, you look pretty excited. So cool,
Yeah, no, it was a great day. It
cool
was a
stuff.
great day.
And while we're just because I was just saying, like, yeah, you were so weird, you're like so busy. We've even had to like put reschedule card. Like, everybody's been busy in the summer, where it shouldn't be.
Yes, yeah.
But before we go into some channel changes, real quick, Rich, because you reminded, so like, if you haven't checked this out on Rich's channel, and for those of you who like Magic the Gathering, he buckled down. He got like that box set, which was cool, which was just neat in itself to see those cards.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing, and that I commented, the geek in me. So he got like a 20-sided die, and for those of you who are D&D nerds, if you roll a 1, it's the Eye of Sauron. I'm like, dude, that fits perfect. Like that was like the coolest thing. Like, that needs to, like, you need to put that like in a little plastic thing and put that on your shelf. Like, that's
the spin down die is pretty cool. I actually there was another deal that was on Amazon when it was like 2 or 3 days after Father's Day. I was just like randomly looking on, because I also put out a short. They got me.
Yeah.
Like, Wizards totally got me. So like it is a thing.
They did.
So I decided, all right, you know what? I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna do some things. And
you've got a little bit of echo.
Yeah.
It sounded like you entered the cavern.
If you can't fix it, it's cool.
Yeah. Let me see if I can mess around with it.
But yeah. So as far as content, I was saying, yeah, because every single time, like, whether I see the card trailer or I see my own trailer, I just like cringe, because it was like a different setup, me playing around with stuff. So and because of some updates to my channel coming, I wanted to put a new trailer. So that's why I apologize. It's a minute, but like doing like the editing and just finding like the clips to go into each other took forever. And I know you guys will watch my channel, but it's like, trying to get other people. So speaking of some updates, so I'm sure for those of you who may or may not know, some YouTube channels, if you're not quite yet to 1,000 subs, if you have at least 500 subs and 3,000 watch hours, you can qualify, not to be fully monetized yet, but you can get some features. Like, if you all want, you can give me super chats and super thanks. So that's active. And the coolest thing that I'm looking forward to is memberships. So I will, over the next few weeks, I will be doing memberships, having icons and things. For those of you who want to, do some extra things and participate. For those of you who still want to just stay be sub, that's cool. I appreciate all support. But, if you guys want to have like some influence on like some of the content, and maybe come up with the polls, and I want to give people the opportunity. So I'm looking forward to that. That's all coming and stuff. So before, yes,
cool.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, much better. And actually, so before we do get into polls, so yeah, as far as for just put this up here for a second. So there really wasn't any news. I scoured the Evercade. The Evercade news. There really wasn't anything this week, which is no new deals, nothing special. So I really did try to find deals. So before we get to poll, so one game, and Rich and Crow, you can tell me if you knew how this game was as different that I started playing. So looking through stuff, I figured I would give Legendary Wings another try. Like, and initially on when I do my first look, like when you start playing that game, it's so difficult, and I died really quickly. I just thought, hey, this is just some other generic shoot 'em up, and I didn't look really beneath the surface. And then I was just kind of sitting there. I'm like, oh, it's a Capcom shooter. Like, I'm like, Capcom wouldn't make a bad shooter, would they? So I started playing it, and once you get used to the controls, you see the patterns, you get the power. But here's what was frustrating: I didn't know that first boss. I thought you had to fight him. No, you have to like go into his mouth, and I did that accidentally. So now I know when you get past the first part, I can get through there with like dying once, and then when you get in there, the game is like Section Z. It turns into like a side scroller. I'm like a side scroller where you have to like jump and shoot.
That's kind of cool.
If you remap the A and B buttons normally on like on your EXP, then when you turn it into Tate mode, they become remapped. So you actually have your real. And then I got sucked into it, and then I'm like, then it became actually kind of reminded me a lot like a Blaster Master, sort of like how it flips another game. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I've been really digging that game.
I played it before. I haven't played it on the EXP, to be honest. Mostly because I barely played EXP, and when I actually had it, I was actually playing some other stuff like Breath of Fire. But yeah, maybe I'll one day get to the point to where I get caught up with everything, and the only thing left would be the Capcom collection on the EXP.
Yeah. Did you dive into that game, Rich? Did you know like the Legendary Wings was kind of a different mode?
Well, I didn't really actually dive in too much on Legendary Wings, but in fact, much like Crow, most of the Capcom stuff, I'm just kind of like, all right, I'm gonna get to this at a certain point. That's not right now.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just
You're
mostly
echoing
because
again.
I think more people are more
It's like
interested
the
in
great voice. That's funny. We could.
in
Yeah.
seeing the videos on the cartridges that are
Yeah.
bought individually. I don't think people are going to buy the EXP just because of the Capcom games that are on it.
No. But it was just kind of neat because I remember playing it as a kid and seeing it. Maybe we never got past the first part, but I didn't know you're just supposed to get swallowed. And then I thought it was just like a Xevious clone, if I'm being perfectly honest. Like because you have those two buttons. I didn't know. And then when I got in there and I saw I could jump and it was and it turned into like a running gun, I was like, dude, this is awesome. And it's you don't get any continues, so it's really if you don't use save states in the progression part, it was really fun. And so now I want to play it more, and it gets more. It gets more challenging.
I mean, that's always a good thing too. It's like
Yeah.
you're playing a game you never really played before, and then you discover something you didn't know was in it.
Yes, yeah, and it was a
That might be it.
Capcom game. Then it was a game. So here's what's interesting.
That might be it.
That's better. That's better.
That's better. All right.
Yes. Oh yeah, you're coming in clear. But here's the thing that was interesting. So with Top 10, like I'd played that for a while, and it did start to hurt my hands, and I did need to take a break a little bit. And I didn't want to play it sideways and hook it up to my TV, but then it kind of made me mad that I had to be tethered close. So I didn't, and I was like, it's not really the same. So
Get yourself a longer HDMI cable.
well, a part of me, I was like, and this was the first time I had. I'm like, you know what? I kind of wish that I could have played this on the VS, like kind of for that. So here's what I did. That was an interesting experiment. I went ahead and I fired up CoinOps on my Steam Deck because I had like Legendary Wings. I'm like, I mean, obviously I can't play that in Tate mode, and I did play it and it worked. And it shows actually the quality of the Evercade, like the control, like obviously the Steam Deck is better quality, but playing it on Evercade was fine. Like I was still able just to fire as fast. And even though like I had the borders and stuff, I don't know if it was the aspect ratio or all that, but like it wasn't as fun. Because then I did an experiment and I went back to hell, and there was just something more fun playing it on the Evercade, and I don't know why. If it was because the Tate mode, if because it was official, I don't know. Like the emulation, like it was the same on both. I'm going to kid you not on that, but there's something just more fun on the Evercade. Maybe it was being able to have it, and I don't know. So but yeah, that was just a kind of a weird discovery.
You were saying it was more fun, but were you playing it on the XP, or did you have it hooked up to a television?
No, I went back to the EXP because I just didn't. Yeah, a longer.
But the EXP by itself, not hooked up to a television.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's that way you could just walk around, wherever you want and play that, I suppose.
Yeah, but there's just something, and I guess I don't know what it was in Evercade that couldn't really explain. That made it more. That just kind of made it more fun. But I wasn't because I was thinking, but I didn't play any better on the when I played it on the Steam Deck. I didn't I was thinking, well, maybe because it was more. It was definitely more comfortable. Like it had,
What was more comfortable, the Steam Deck?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, being able to play it like that because because you're not having to turn it with your hands being a little bit.
Well, I've never really even imagined what it would be like to play on a Steam Deck. I just it's not really something I'm that interested in. But
Yeah, but it just kind of showed. Like then I was able to go back and play. So with Tate mode, you just have to take breaks or play a different game and turn. That's all. But it was just kind
or
of.
You could just switch it back. You don't have to play those games in Tate mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's difficult for me to see. Like,
I can see that. I mean, it's definitely.
Because normally I work even with my glasses.
Like either easier to see and less comfortable, or more comfortable and harder to see.
Yeah. And so it was just kind of an interest. So I think with that, like I think having pack. But here's the weird thing with Legendary Wings though, because it was kind of like I'll have to see how I still feel another week. But I'm like, I was enjoying that so much. I was like, hey, if somebody had like a dedicated arcade cabinet for a couple $100, that would be a game I could like. I was enjoying it that much, and it was so different. I'm like, I could see that. But just a weird discovery of a game that I knew about, but it's never really dived into it to give it a second.
Yeah, I wonder now that Legendary Wings was ported to the NES. I wonder if the NES version is how close to the arcade version that is. I mean, There's certain games sometimes where they're completely different, but I wonder about that one now.
I kind of, you know what? I kind of want to try. Just I've seen like the opening level. I think like the graphics, of course, are. I think it looks. Yeah, you know what? I got to try that now. I would be curious to go ahead and see. So here. Oh, so here's. Oh, so local. I would say local Evercade news, and I should have taken a picture.
Hmm.
So it's funny. Really funny. So and Rich I've been like recommending for him to see the Tetris movie. I
Oh
saw
yeah.
that over Father's Day weekend, and for me, that was like, and it's not a documentary. It's like the best video game movie.
Wait a minute, wait. There's a Tetris movie and it's already out?
Yes, on
Yeah, it's
Apple
on.
Plus.
I had no
Yeah, Apple
idea.
Plus.
Yes, and it's
Oh,
and,
on Apple Plus. That's what
yes,
I never
yes,
heard of it.
and it's the best video game movie that I've seen. What they did that was kind of neat, like for cutscenes, especially without spoiling things, especially this car chase. Like they showed some things like in an 8-bit graphics, like just kind of like really quick, but it fits the style, and the soundtrack you can download on Spotify, which is just like amazing. There's some custom intros. There's like the Russian and Japanese version of "I Need a Hero," and like it's just like some really cool, like a Pet Shop Boys remix that they put, like some really cool stuff. But for me
That's
though,
pretty cool.
like it hit that nostalgia, and this, believe me, just stick with me a second. This is leading to how I saw a local Evercade in my retro store, but so it's leading to that. But for me, just to tell people real quick. So for me, there was 3 times in my life, when I growing up for console systems, where there was like that aha moment where you were just like not just, oh, this is cool, but like a PS5 comes out and you're just kind of like, okay, it's a PS5, but you're not like wowed, right? And so for me, like just to kind of tell you real quick, like Nintendo was the first one because it was like coming from like Atari, it's like, oh my god, Mario's you could actually see a character, you're not a block like an adventure, like that transition. And then Super Nintendo, that was another huge one because I was like, oh my god, I can play an excellent port of Street Fighter 2. Again, seeing Genesis and stuff was still cool, but not that. And then the third awesome moment for me was a Game Boy, because before that we had the Tiger Electronics, which were just like, you can't really change out the cards, they look kind of crappy. And then it didn't matter if mom and dad were watching television. Like as a kid, you had direct control. You didn't really care about the black and white because you had, all these all this like 40 hours. So for me, like that was like so nostalgic, and like Tetris has always been, kind of been there. And so for me, like there was a huge amount of nostalgia, and to kind of see that whole I'd listened to podcasts and all that. But anyways, it made me feel like so nostalgia that I'm like, you know what? I kind of want like an OG Game Boy. Like I don't want to pay money for it, but if I could trade stuff, even though with its bad screen and all. So I did go ahead and go down there, and I think I still had like Paper Mario and all that, and I wasn't going to get much trade in for my Game Boy Advance, so I didn't want to do that, but they didn't have a Game Boy, so I was like, I just wanted that to play Tetris. Maybe I'll mod it later. But what I saw in the display case, and I was surprised, was they had 2 boxed copies of the standard Evercade EXP, and they had like the Team 17 card. They had like 5 cards. Everything is the normal prices, $20. But I'm like, I was like, guys, it's awesome to see that there, and it was Game Over Games. And not only
That's
that,
pretty
like
cool.
it had been under new management, because I was like, hey, do you remember the blonde guy with the glasses and the tattoos? It's kind of funny. She knew everybody because I hadn't been there like in a year. And it'd been under new management. They even had like Sonic the Hedgehog, Mario placemat. And what was nice about it is, while they didn't have what I was looking for, they even had things like a Dreamcast, a Saturn, and Nintendo. Like it was full of like, their stock was good. It wasn't
Nice.
like when I've gone to the mall. Yeah, like when I've gone to the mall to like GameStop, and it's just like so depressing. Like it had like it had a good atmosphere, and so I could have maybe traded everything in just to get a second standard, but I'm like, if I don't know, maybe if they had a VS, and I could have just traded in maybe a couple games, but with the Game Boy Advance, those games don't. I mean, like I think like something like Zelda is like $30. You're only going to get like $14. So they're not, and I knew that again. I'm like, I might as well keep them. But yeah, I kind of like a part of me, I if I can trade for it, I kind of want like an OG Game Boy for the nostalgia, that kind of got me there. But yeah, I should have taken pictures, and I talked to them about Evercade a little bit, and the people that work there seem to like it. I'm like, hey, I've got a YouTube channel.
Well,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
you could actually. Would you want one that would be like stock, like when you would buy it like originally, or would you be more interested in like an upgraded one, like still only just a Game Boy, but with like an IPS screen and stuff?
I would no totally would want with an IPS screen, but those are a lot more.
Well,
Like-
you could actually. Well, I don't know how technical you are, but if you could get one, you could get like a really cheap, dirty-looking Game Boy, like on eBay. All that would really matter would be if it worked.
Yeah.
And then you could go to a website. It's called Handheld Legends. You could buy a new case. You could buy an IPS screen. That's what I did. That's how I built a Game Boy Advance. I basically just took the circuitry from one, and everything else in it is new, and
That's kinda
it's
cool.
fantastic. So you can do the same thing with the Game Boy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you mentioned that because
Can you get like batteries and stuff from that same website?
Oh yeah, lithium batteries. Like the Game Boy Advance actually has a lithium battery with a USB-C connection instead of the proprietary one.
Yeah. No, I would eventually want that, but it's just I don't want to pay someone like $200. But no, I've thought about that. Like, hey, if I could get a Game Boy cheap or trade for one, then maybe buy like a cheap soldering kit for $20 because usually there's like one wire. Sometimes you have to, and then that. Yeah, no, I thought about, and I would do that. Be like, okay, I've got the nostalgia. Yeah, the screen's too crappy. Need to upgrade it. Yeah, no, I thought about definitely wanting to.
Yeah.
Definitely wanting to totally do that. But yeah, that nostalgia bug just got me.
Yeah, I had this. I didn't want to like mod this one completely, but this Game Boy Advance SP, I replaced the case. They had this case.
Ooh,
That's cool.
See, that's
I
very
didn't want to
nostalgic.
replace
They
this
had
one
a,
because this is the 101, the one with the really good screen to begin with. I didn't want to replace the screen, but I just I replaced the case, the buttons and everything, and I replaced the I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but like let's see if you can the bottom you can see that's
the USB-C.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Very cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I don't
And
have anything
didn't,
special.
Didn't
with mine,
Nintendo?
just-
They did an official SP right before the end, right? That kind of looked.
Oh,
like
the
that.
micro SP?
No. There was
Game-
an SP like that. That looked kind of like the one you have.
I think they did.
Oh yeah, they did have one like this. I think I don't
Yeah.
remember what variety it was or what version or what the occasion was. I'm pretty sure they had one that did look like this.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
it's like
that
for an
see,
anniversary or something.
that's awesome. And so like I have this, but so here's what's weird, and it's kind of been a weird nostalgia bug. Like I don't know, for a while I've been just like I mean, again, like I have a Steam Deck, I can emulate all that stuff, but I kind of want like a vertical handheld Game Boy. So that's I don't know why, but that's like of all the nostalgia things, that's something that like I may have to see or not. But then again, like we get like the Tetris collection for a game for Evercade, and does all that become mute? Like, do I care anymore?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, definitely go see the Tetris movie. Let's talk about polls.
Yeah, and even for like $5, like you can get Apple Plus for 1 month for
Yes.
$5, and then just see the movie and just
Dude.
drop. So
You can do that with Paramount actually, and with Paramount Plus. While we're talking about pluses, if you don't mind like 90-second ads in the beginning, that's worth it to see the new Dungeons and Dragons movie, but also like the new Star Trek
yeah,
Strange New World.
that movie's awesome.
Strange New World is out.
You know what I didn't know until like literally yesterday? I didn't know that there were new episodes of Beavis and Butthead since 2022.
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love
was like,
Beavis and Butthead.
I wanted to watch I really wanted to just watch them all right then and there. I can only watch one though, but
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I love Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, that's a whole nother. When that came out, that like that crudeness wasn't on.
like I knew the movie came out, the Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe, but I didn't know there was a series that followed like almost shortly thereafter.
Yes, yeah. No, that's I remember. Yeah, that was a great movie too. Oh, so yeah, back to some Evercade stuff. So first, I just want to say to the community, I appreciate like how you all are consistent above like 50 votes, like voting. Like it is so
cool.
great. I'll have to I'll have to coordinate it with Rich. We may or may not have polls for next. We'll see. Maybe I'll still do one. We'll see. We may or may not still have polls for next week, depending. But
I mean,
So
if you do, I can always view it, and then just
that's right.
put it up on my end, and then you'll
That's
just see
true.
what I voted for. That's all.
Okay. Maybe we will at least next week. Maybe we'll at least do next week's. Yeah, that's right. I
Yeah.
forgot. It's not locked behind. Yeah, it's this community tab. Duh.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll have them. So we'll have them next week. Yeah. So this year I was just I was curious. I like just to kind of gauge how do people feel about Evercade. So I was like, so far this year I'm blank. for this year's Evercade carts. I know for me, like, I'm super pumped, but I always am. But I just wanted to see, and I'm happy to see that at least like pumped
Yeah.
was the majority. Like, I'm glad to see that like meh or disappointed. Fine, those are low. And super pumped. That was actually higher than I thought.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's good to see that, like people that visit the channel are those that are enthusiasts for the device, right? So it's good that the enthusiasts are still enthused.
Exactly, and that's what I care about, and that's why I like when we get close, like when we get over 50. I feel like that represents a good sample. And then, let me explain in the comments. I've been putting like more of those because I know like people like to do that, and we have some people like Master Soul the Jedi, happy, still hoping for Technos. Technos Arcade 2.
You never know, man.
Yeah. And then like, you know what? That's weird. Like it's not showing like Phantom Fiction. It's not showing. It's not showing the at. I hate.
YouTube did that weird change where it shows you what your at name is. So everyone's got to go back and change their channel name to whatever they want it. And then
that's annoying.
Go that way.
I'm glad I changed mine to Evercade Effect a while ago.
Yeah.
A while back. Yeah, so many people have recognized. I think that's Double Dragon 3. Super pumped. I want the best for Blaze. Phantom Fiction. I'm very pumped. But I worry they won't grow unless they start producing, becoming more innovative. They need to address two major questions. What do we do to keep the attention of current customers, and what do we do to bring new customers? Yeah, don't want them to go the way of iArcade. Yeah, definitely.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's consistent new licensing for bringing in new customers. Like that results in you gotta keep hitting the nostalgia points for the people to bring them in, and then for the already existing people is just making sure that they have more discovery, because a lot of people will stay for the discovery, I think, anyway.
Yes.
Rather than just like, oh hey, just give me keep being a hits machine, because if you keep doing that, then you wind up becoming everybody else, and then that's it. You'll fade away. But because they consistently bring new things, I think that's the thing that separates them, from like being in danger of things like like iArcade, or even at games and Arcade 1-Up. They're all vulnerable, right, to the same thing, because they're just
true.
They're all nostalgia machines. So it's all about getting the correct licensing and then promoting it right. But that's every business. So.
Well, I just don't think that iArcade got their product out there. I don't think a lot of people knew about it.
Yeah,
there weren't a lot of places to buy it.
So,
like if you look at like Arcade 1-Up, they're constantly releasing new games. People are always talking about that. It's the same thing with Evercade. It's like, every so often there's new releases, so that keeps that fresh in people's minds.
True. I mean, but I'll tell you what iArcade I think downfall. But no, Rich. Yeah, I just want to reply to what you just said. Agree with you 201%. Why 201? Because I felt, but no, because, and the reason I say this is because that's how I got drawn into Evercade. When I saw, I was like, oh, okay, Atari 2600 collection, I'm in. Then I saw they had Namco collection, I'm in. And then I saw they had Technos. So right then and there was like Pac-Man, Double Dragons, Adventure, So it was. I kid you not. And then also what happened to hit at the time too were the Lynx collections, and I'm like, this is something very, it's not as easy to get like and curate on a handheld. So those can, and then because initially I was drawn to it, the nostalgia 110%. And then, like you said, after a while, that does kind of wear off a little bit. And maybe that's why I just don't like fire up, let's say, like Super Mario Brothers 3 for great, But then I started this discovery, and then I was like, I like learning about these different arcade games and aftermarket, and all these cool different things. So yeah, that's exactly, and like, that's what they need to do. Like you said, have something big like a Capcom to get the attention of new people to draw them in. But then but then once they're drawn in, then they need to put things out to kind of keep people there, like Pico 1 Arcade, Sydney Hunter,
right.
Team 17. Yeah, they need to keep bringing those out. But so I'll tell you.
Well, I mean, and then to Andrew's point too in the comments there. I mean, it's like so Duke Nukem. Yeah, I mean that's a huge get, right? It's a recognizable name. It's it's a big thing, and they're slotting it the right way too, right? Duke comes out in the holiday season, so the one interesting thing that I hope to see, especially this year, I mean, they're in year 4. Like, so like what do we want to see as far as like like business moving? It would be awesome to see if they can really ramp up distribution of existing product now. Like, have they grown enough to land themselves on a store shelf where you could walk into like a in the U.S. markets anyway.
You would think
You walk into a Walmart
would want to be stock it.
Yeah, I mean, like
on their
they had it in game in the UK. I mean, they were clearancing them out. I saw that on a Facebook post. So, but I think Game is in trouble over there. I don't know anything about the business side over there, but Game and GameStop are somewhat linked. But somewhere like a GameStop. I mean, they are in Best Buy. You can go to bestbuy.com and get stuff. Right now for
that's
Evercade,
right. Yeah,
and that's really
but
cool.
Not in store. It's not like you'd find it in the store.
Yeah,
exactly. Like something to see, something on a shelf somewhere. I mean, and the reason I mentioned Walmart is because they're literally everywhere. That would be just like that would be a huge thing if they announced physical distribution there. The only problem though is it too much, right? How many Walmarts are there in the United States? Like you got to produce X amount of things. Are you going to oversaturate? And then you're going to have things just rot on a shelf, and then they're going to go away.
Yeah.
That puts them in trouble. You know what I mean? So, I'm not the other Andrew over at Blaze, so I'm sure he's.
But no, I think it belongs in something like a GameStop, because so here's a few things I think that Evercade have going for it. Kind of the faulty with Evercade, and Mad Little Pixel just put out I kind of want to tie it into, just put out a video about one of the major distributors for physical games. Like they're going to stop doing physical game distribution. So here's how it all kind of ties in. And kind of looking at doggy, looking at things. So for one, with the iArcade, and I'll be honest, its biggest downfall. Well, here's just two biggest downfalls. The biggest one is, okay, you're asking somebody to pay to get these unknown games for a very expensive price, versus when you could just buy like an At Games home, bring all your own games, and you're done. So that seriously, that was kind of its biggest. Mm-hmm. Kind of its biggest downfall. And for me too, like the first generations of the iArcade, and I know Retro Ralph has said this, like the aesthetic of it, like it looked weird. Like it didn't really give you that nostalgia. And then the other Dead Cells one, like those looked cool, but they were just, I don't know, they were just too expensive. So and I kind of said how that relates to Evercade is they're kind of in that, they're at a good price point. And here's what's kind of happening, and that's why I say how it kind of relates to MLP's videos, that we're getting, and we all knew this was coming, we're getting at a point where companies are like, listen, there's no point in us spending all this money on physical copies and like having Best Buy get their cut, having, let's say, GameStop get their cut, when you can buy directly from me. I get 100% of the money. I can charge whatever I want. I don't have to ship anything or distribute anything. Not only that, modern day games, it's just a key. Like the full games aren't even on there anyways, even like on the Switch. So it kind of ties into it. So now Evercade's at a place where, hey, if the cost of retro gaming has gone up, if you want to capture that nostalgia and you don't want to, you can actually have a physical cart of the full game. And we've got something that's priced lower than a Switch, lower than a Steam Deck. And that's kind of another thing which I think is great, is Evercade could fall into the category of the poor man's Steam Deck. And what I mean by that is you get these you start to get these like banger indie titles, but you can play them on the Evercade. You don't have to spend $400 for a Steam Deck, and then you get other games on that cart too. So that's kind of all those categories.
Mm-hmm.
But it's an interesting market because let's say when I say kids today, I mean like people half my age in their 20s. Yeah, they probably don't care about an Evercade. They're just like, hey, I want my Switch, I want my X, and that's fine. But some of them, maybe they had an older brother or sister playing Mario, and they see this like, oh, here's kind of this cool different machine. So yeah, I want to say iArcade's biggest downfall is its price. I think the biggest mistake Evercade could, if it started to increase its prices, I think that would kind of doom it, because it's they're at a good space, and as long as
I totally agree with that. I mean, that's they're right now they're in that happy space. The hardware is at a decent price. The cards, I think they're still, as far as retro gaming goes, card prices are best in class in my opinion. You're hitting that $20-$25 mark. I mean, it's just an impulse at that point. That's why it's so easy for me when they release, and the way they release them in pairs of carts. You're still under the cost of a regular physical game from the current gen, and when you add them up, you're well over like 10 to 15 games all in one for like 40-50 bucks or whatever it is after shipping, and it's like just sold every time, but again, I mean, I'm the guy who gets it all, right? So I know everyone's mileage may vary, but
yeah.
But yeah, I think it's great, great model.
Overpriced. See, here's the funny thing. Like, here's what I don't see it as an alternative, right? And here's what's kind of unique, because the Steam Deck does different. Like, I don't think there's anything really alternative to an Evercade, because and I'll tell you why. Because for me, like on the Steam Deck, I play like a ton of like of indie games, things like Dead Cells, things like Vampire Survivors. Indie games that are like, they get a lot of DLC, they get a lot of updates. They're not something like Retro Dodo, where it's probably going to be a one and done. You know what I mean? Like a one and done. Like, even if they do make other fixes, like it's still going to be the same core game. So it's and also too, you can play AAA games, but if you just look, it's different. Evercade, it's about more of that retro discovery. So it really depends on what you're going for. But kind of, with the price point too that you mentioned, Rich, like that's what enabled me, where I'm like, okay, this is something where I could continue to collect and evolve a collection because of what it. And I just hope that they don't go to something like 20 carts a year, because then that would be a little more difficult for me, like, to get them all. And I don't want to miss it. Like, they need to keep it between the 12 to 14. Like that's a good. That's a good price point, as long as they do that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm just and I think as we the dogs are distracting. Is that a
It's
fox?
all good.
Is it a fox? No, it's a dog.
It's
Yeah,
a doge.
a doge.
A doge.
A doge.
Yeah.
A doge.
That's right.
Yeah. And so I think, like, I don't know whether if it's Blades that's listening to us, but like the biggest mistake that they could have made was to try to do something like put all those games in the Duke Nukem collection on one cart and offer it for like 40 or 50 bucks. You know what I mean? Like the fact that they split
the collection.
Yeah.
Into,
I mean, it based
also,
on how they split it, I think it's fine, because they've got the Duke Nukem 1, 2, and 3, and then they've got the side Duke Nukem for the other collection.
Yeah.
I mean, it allows consumer choice there too. Like those that want just 1, 2, and 3 can just get that one cart. Like for those that aren't, collectors, of like, oh yeah, the 32-bit ones, I don't want to play them.
Exactly.
You don't have to buy the cart, right? So.
And I think that's why they did that, because not only that, just mentally, even though it's like the same price, one of them for $40 and all that kind of goes again. Like, you're like, why is this so expensive? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I said to your points. Like they split it right, and I think they'll continue to do that, which is smart, because then it gives consumer choice and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think some. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah. So it's just gonna like throw something in there, just real quick. It's kind of random, yet also tied to things that are about to come out. And also because for whatever reason, the mail showed up at obscenely early this morning. I think the mail delivered at like 9 o'clock in the morning. Like, never happens. It's always like 2 in the afternoon or something like that. But
yeah, no kidding.
But because it also is directly related to things that are Evercade related, I got this package.
What you looking at?
And it's got your boy Floyd on it.
Ooh.
Because I put in on Twitter, they have these things where you can like kind of like enter in giveaways and stuff. And I did. And the only reason I did was because of it's a NES game.
Did you win the Blaster Master game?
And I was like, sweet, like let me just like rock this, and if I win the cart, that would be really cool, because it's it's Sunsoft. So
did you win that?
Out of this package comes,
oh my god,
the Blaster Master NES from Video Games Monthly.
Dude, I'll tell you why that's super cool, and because. Like, I saw that and I retweeted it and I tagged you in it and I said, "Hey, wouldn't this make for an awesome shelf piece with the Sunsoft? Oh, that's man. Awesome that you won that."
Yeah, and it's totally what's gonna happen. I'm gonna fund for 5 this cart sometime probably this week.
Yes.
And then as soon as the Sunsoft cart comes out, you absolutely believe it. Like I'm just gonna put it right over here. And then I'll
Dude.
put the box for the Sunsoft cart. I might actually like, I don't know, maybe I'll get another one or whatever. Have them both like sitting next to each other.
As soon as you showed that, because you never know. I'm like, because I was like, hey, yeah, it'd be cool to. It just so happened, yeah, cool. I think
Yeah.
it went to the right person because you could actually
Hey,
actually
high five.
showcase and play that. That's
Right?
actually, it looks like it's in good condition too.
It is good. Yeah, the bottom of the label is like a little like rubbed off, but other than that, everything looks like it's solid. Even the contacts and everything, they look like they're nice and clean. Nothing that a little isopropyl won't be able to help anyway. So yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to check this one out.
That's awesome.
But it's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I think I played it at a friend's house like once, and I didn't even know what the game was. So, and then I got confused because I wasn't into NES back in the day. Like because I just didn't have it at my house. But yeah, I can't wait to dig in there. It's
Dude,
gonna be pretty cool.
I was obsessed with that game. Really, really into, because it was the first kind of, and the only where it's like you have your side scroller, and then you go to like a first person view, and you could just kind of relate because like you're a kid and you fall on the hole. Kind of weird that you're chasing after your frog, but like it was just one of those games that actually had like a really cool like story in the opening sequence.
Yeah.
And then when you press start, the dun, 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 like it just, oh my god, it just, and the sounds and everything. It's just, and that I want to say, I think you get 3 continues. You don't have unlimited continues, and so that was like way before save states and all that. So
yeah, right. Well, yeah, I mean, it'd be cool as a comparison point. Like, how like brutally difficult is this game on the NES version versus like having all the modern sensibilities on the Evercade version? And like, can I get through it? With all the aids, easier. So
yeah, and you get upgrades, like you get like hover to your thinking hover, and you have a certain amount of fuel for that, and you can like find missiles and other heat-seeking missiles, and then you can go underwater. Yeah, I mean, it was one of those games that was like a really like ahead of its time.
Yeah,
like and the fact that we get Blaster Master Boy also on that, I'm hoping for, if we get a Sunsoft too, that we'll get the Genesis version.
Andrew's like, the Evercade version is better. We'll see, right? Now I have both to compare. It's gonna be awesome.
Yes. So, no, dude, I'm so happy that you won. That's one of those posts. One of those.
I'll tell you this though.
Forget about it.
Exactly right. But this is why, like, you do those things.
Yes.
It was like literally hit 3 buttons and tag a friend.
Yeah.
And then you're in. And then every once in a while they'll just be like, "You are the winner," and you're like, "Okay, I get a thing." That's cool.
And I forgot you can actually play it, because I'm like, this would just be like cool to have on the shelf. But no, I like that you'll actually be able to play it and do comparisons. And
yeah, very cool, very cool. And then yes, thanks to Floyd and all the teams again.
Yeah,
for doing.
I don't even know how pricey of a game that is, but it's just so cool. Just the fact that you just won.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter to me. It could be like a $2 game. It could be a $20 game. It's like whatever. It's fine. It's cool because they just sent it to me.
Heck yeah.
It's good. It's good stuff.
9 o'clock. What method did they ship that to you? Is it like FedEx or something? 9 o'clock in the morning.
They just put it. No, it's USPS. Cover all my thing. It's like standard USPS.
Well, does the mail does it go directly to your house, or do you have like a neighborhood thing where you use a key and?
Oh no, it's just right to my door.
That's okay. That's the difference, because for me, nothing through USPS goes to my door. It goes to the neighborhood. So usually it's between noon and 2. So I would never get something like that early. So that's even cooler.
I think that was the secret thing, right? Because Royal Mail and USPS, the USPS was a delivery mechanism here. And during the good old days from ordering from FunSpot, I was on the East Coast, so that's why they would bulk ship. Everybody is for everywhere. So as it was going through the USPS system, everyone that's west of me was getting them later, and I was getting them so early. But I mean, it appears that those days are over.
I know.
I won't know again until July, but and actually, if it comes late. Oh man, that's such a bummer. If it comes late again, I'm not going to have my carts for vacation, because I'm going on vacation at the end of July / early August, and I may have to wait until I get back to get the new ones. Which would I think it's actually isn't Sunsoft the one that comes in July or no?
You know
Maybe
what?
they're in
Let's bring
September.
real quick, but I'll bring up that chart. But for the fun of it, price charting, like it doesn't matter. But like 11.95 loose for Blaster
Yeah.
Master. Completely.
Hey, well, I mean, but still, this works for me. It's good.
So here's the thing. Like with me though, like if I got sent that for free, I could be like, okay, I could be like, I didn't have to pay anything out on the shelf. I think the problem is like if I buy that, I'm like, you know what? I need a way to play that.
Right?
You know, and you already have a way. So being that we
Oh, they're in September. Okay,
September.
so that'll be fine. Then that's okay.
We don't. Yeah, actually, we don't have anything in July. You're
Oh,
good.
there isn't anything in July. It's
Nope.
because it's in August. Got it.
Yep.
All right,
You're good.
I'm good. Fine. Yeah, we're good because we already have everything that came out. So I've got Team 17 and Pico 3. Those will be coming with me on my vacation. So as well C64 and Toplin 2 again because I haven't gotten through. I haven't gotten through them. I'm getting into like Crow territory. It'll be in November before I play any of these.
I've been wanting to start Toplan Arcade 2, and I was like, yesterday I'm going to be able to start it because I got home like early enough. It's 10 o'clock. I can actually play this for an hour. And before like I knew it, it was like 11:30. So I can't start this now.
Yeah.
I've actually gone back to Toplin 1. I might like that one better. I mean, they're both really good collections, but I might like Toplin 1 better.
Toplin 1 over 2?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know yet because I haven't even touch these things. I really want to get into them. I just have to buckle down. And you know what I'm going to do one day? As I'm probably just going to like I have a day off coming up actually that I have to take before the end of the year before I lose it. I may actually during that day off just straight up record. I mean, however many Fun for Fives it would take to just get me through the entire cart and just go through them all in one day, just so I can play. I might actually do that, and then I have like content for like during vacation and stuff. It'd be pretty neat.
You know what's so you know what Mega Cat 3. So you know what's interesting, and you can tell me if you guys feel the same way. That like I think that like the Pico and the Mega Cat collections always like they always get compared to the first ones. I think, and at least for me, you know, because I keep saying this, can't capture lightning in a bottle twice, but something.
Mm-hmm.
Something like Toplin 1 and 2, like that. Like I don't want to say disappoint, but I'm like, oh, Toplin 1 is good, 2 is good. I don't feel like, oh well, 2 isn't as good of 1. You know what I mean?
Right.
But for some reason, like those two collections, I always kind of feel like that. Even Indie Heroes 1 and 2, I'm like, okay, Indie Heroes 1 is good, 2 I like better, but they're both. I don't know. Maybe because those are part of the original 10. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I can't really explain, but it's just I always feel like.
I mean, it's just I think though. It was one of those things where maybe while they were getting all the licenses, the one of all of them is Pico 1, in my opinion. It's just like for whatever reason they got all of those licenses and they just crammed them all in that one cart.
Well,
and I don't know if it makes business sense to do it ever again. I mean, it probably doesn't, but like the value in that cart is just outstrips any of the other collections.
But what am I missing? I don't feel that way about that.
No?
I mean, you got the 2 RPGs, they're fine. There were a couple like Top Gear was fine.
Yeah.
I didn't have
Water Margin,
a level 10 game in that collection or anything.
I mean, well, Water Margin is my favorite beat 'em up on Evercade, period.
I mean, it's fine. Actually, Water Margin's fine. I have it as a 9. But I don't have any 10s. Like Water Margin I have as my number 3 on that collection.
Got it.
Dragon View I have as my number 1, and Cannon is number 2.
Yeah.
But then, like after that, it like the grading of what I graded everything on that cartridge. I mean, there's 20 games, but like half of them I scored 6 or lower. More than half of them.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I guess maybe if you're looking at it like. In that kind of sense, I guess. But I like dabbling. Even in the games that aren't like great, I still like dabbling, which is the reason why it always comes with me. Anytime I go on a trip, I always take Pico 1 because you just I just go in and play. I'll play like Power Pigs. You know, it's not a great game, but I still play it.
I don't really like Power Pigs because it's like so much of that game is spent up in the air being blown around. I don't know why.
That's true.
And then a lot of these other games I was already familiar with, like
Okay.
Nightshade, Eight Eyes, Radical Rex, Humans, Immortal, Power Punch 2, Draken especially.
Maybe that's why though, because I didn't have that experience from back in the day on hardly any of these games. They were all completely discovery for me.
See,
Yeah,
so
to
being
me,
that
like
I,
the Pico is kind of like it's to me it's almost like a collection of second tier games.
Got it.
That's how I see it.
it is, but there's a
That's
lot.
fair
So for
enough.
me, like, here's what's funny for like, let's say like for going on a trip. Believe it or not, so like my Pico one, which is kind of interesting, and I might kind of shock, is actually like Atari Collection One, and I'll kind of because there's a lot of arcade games on besides Food Fight, Aqua Adventure, and Ninja Golf. Like the fact that like Centipede exists, yes, it's not the best version of Centipede, but it's still very fun. Like Missile Command is on there, so like for me, like if I want a collection of these like arcade games, yes, maybe they're the inferior versions as far as like graphics, but they're still fun. Like if I want to sit down, or same with Atari 2, which is kind of weird.
Interesting thing about those versions of Centipede, we have the arcade version of Centipede on Atari Arcade 1, but if we're talking about the Evercade versions, I'd rather play the 2600 and 7800 version. Did we have the 7800 version of Centipede on one of the collections? Or we just have the 2600? I can't remember.
I think
but
it's
even so, I
no,
think
just
one is on
just
one
no.
and two's on the other one.
No,
but,
you're right. We do the 7800. No, you're right. We do.
yeah,
the
I think
was on
yes.
Collection 2.
Yeah, I think
That
they
one is
play
great.
better because those games were created with a joystick in mind.
Yes.
They weren't so, and I don't think the version on the arcade one, I don't think they got the conversion of the trackball to the D-pad quite right, and it doesn't seem to control as well as it should.
Correct. No, 100%, dude, 100%. And that's why, like, the Atari 2600 version and 7800 versions are so solid. Matter of fact, sometimes I wish two of those collection be merged to one, because on the Steam Deck, if you play Centipede, whether it's on Coin-Ops X or on the official Atari collection, if you use the analog stick, it's fine. Like I don't have any issues using
What's
an
funny is I tried that once, playing that on an analog stick. I can't play it with an analog stick at all.
But yeah, using a D-pad is,
I'd have to use a mouse.
dookie. But I think so. And I think the weird with me, like traveling Evercade, I don't know. I need like I'd love to be able to bring Namco like that's the like the Atari collections and the Namco collections and Pico One. Like all those have spent so much time in my Evercade, especially like Namco One with the different shooters and Splatterhouse. Like that's rotated a lot. Kind of in there. And actually, with the new carts coming out, I even forgot we had like the Capcom collection built in, and so that's when I went back to. We're getting to a point now where they're coming out with a lot of them that every month there's so much like Evercade goodness. You really have to.
Well, I've completely forgotten about the games that are only playable on the handheld. So, like, I never really think of the Namco games or the Capcom games because you can't play them on the VS.
Yeah. And that's a shame. Yeah. Yeah, I get that because again, like, maybe you want to play it in a different mode, or you just want to see it, and it's like you can't really do that. But as long as they have those, like, so like sure,
you could always hook it up to the TV, but then you're tethered to the TV.
Yeah, I hate that.
Kind of are with the console too, but
you've got a long ass control. Yeah. But then you also have to worry about, and I've had this happen too with Evercade, like disconnecting in the middle of play. And at least with the OG handheld early on, if that happened, then you could corrupt like your save states.
Well, that's because when it got disconnected, it would automatically reboot.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I don't know why it was designed that way, but they fixed that so it doesn't. It just
yeah.
I don't know if you still get kicked out of the game or not. I don't really know. I haven't messed with that.
I don't know, but I know early on, like with Mega Cats 2, like some games you would plug it in and you'd have save states there, and then you would unplug it and you'd have different save states. It was like it wasn't syncing between the two modes, so that maybe it could have just been me in that cart. I don't know, but it was kind of a weird weird thing. But yeah, I mean, I understand it's a licensing, but it is a shame. I'm still hoping maybe they'll make it up with like a Namco arcade. I would love that. Have the best of those games. Although they have to make a choice, because unless like a miracle happens, you can't have Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man on the same cart.
I wouldn't count on a Namco arcade unless they announced, like, oh, by the way, the previous Namco carts will work on the VS now. If that were to happen, then I would say, okay, maybe we will get an Namco arcade collection.
True.
Hmm.
That would be a big sign, right?
Yeah, no, that would definitely be. I still think, to be honest, I still think one day it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yes. What's your question, Ian? Go ahead and put it. He has a question for everyone.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, on Steam, you can still get the Namco. Yes, it's digital, but you get like all those games plus more. But it's digital, right? So I think as long as Namco, and that's on all the platforms, as long as Namco has that, they're very hesitant to have it go to a console for some reason. I don't know why. That's just kind of weird.
One game from their library? I don't think they would agree to that. Could you imagine a cartridge with just like one NES game on it?
It would. You know what? If they did that, if it was like some cool, like kick-ass, like homebrew, and like and like when you got it, like the booklet would be dedicated. Think about like the booklet would be dedicated to it, and they threw in some stickers.
Well,
but it would have to be a really good game, though.
Konami games that are on like Steam that I haven't played, but they're like smaller games. They're not ones that they're talked a whole lot. I think one is like called Skell Attack or something. I can't remember what that was called.
Sounded like you went underwater for a second.
Am I underwater?
No, now it's better. I heard like a.
I
Oh, I think that was me actually.
Oh,
Sorry.
maybe it was you.
What was it? I think I.
Isn't it great? We all like. It's like.
Yeah, it's.
We're all
called Skell
podcasters
Attack.
and we have audio issues.
It's a Konami game. Have you heard of it? Skell Attack. It's a Konami game.
Skell Attack.
And it's pretty recent, 2020.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that.
Attack.
It's. I was like kind of surprised when I ran across it on Steam. It's like, really? It's like a $20 Steam game.
Oh, it's on Steam. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, because I tried to
don't
do
know
a
if it's
search
on
like skeleton.
I would assume it's like on like the digital stores for like Switch and PlayStation and Xbox. I just kind of assume, but nobody talks about it. But it's published by Konami.
Skell
Attack. SKELATTACK.
Man, that's the problem with the Steam. Like, God, there's like too much. There's too many things.
Yeah, I'm just kind of scrolling through. Konami has like the Hudson stuff, so they have the Super Bomberman stuff too. So.
Skeleton Hotel. Oh yeah, Super Bomber. You know what? I know it's licensing, but like any type of Bomberman would be perfect for the VS because you've got your 4 built-in controllers.
They've got I don't know, like they've got Rocket Knight. Yeah, that's right. They did Rocket Knight originally, so I forgot that was a Konami game.
Yeah, that would be. You know what? As much as as also that I do love Konami, I'm hoping if we get Konami, then we get TurboGrafx.
Yeah, I mean, there's like they said, there's a whole bunch of classic collections. That was like, why not have like one of the Castlevania collections, or Contra collection, or like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection? You would think that some of those would be possible.
Here's what I want them to do, though. If they do a Castlevania collection, here's where I think they need to kind of like change it up, because like the original, like I want like the Game Boy version of Dracula Boy, because that's like one of like most expensive.
That's in one of the collections.
No, but it's the Famicom version. Like I want because I want like
I want the Game Boy version.
Yes, like
okay.
I would want actually. Here's what they could do, because I want to say for Game Boy Color, there already is like a Castlevania collection that has like the first 3 that are like throw that on there. Throw on like Dracula Boy and maybe put on like some Game Boy Advance. Like that would.
There is a Castlevania Advance collection.
Yes. Okay. That's okay.
So
Advance,
I wonder if it's on that. Let's see here.
Like do something a little bit different. Like put some of the handhelds on there. Like that. If they do, like I don't want all the same versions that are.
Yeah, I don't think it's on there. It's got Circle of the Moon, Harmony of Dissonance, Area of Sorrow, Dracula.
But I know there was a Game Boy Color version that just had like the first 3 Castlevanias. Like there's also, but yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Something make it a little bit different though. I love Castlevania, but I think the thing that every time we were talking about, like you want to rope people in, but if I wonder though, like let's say not owning an Evercade, if you just see, oh, here's the Castlevania collection, you're like, well, yeah, I could pick that up for $10 on my Switch. Why would I want to buy an Evercade? Like
Well,
you know,
you'd have a physical collection of it, but then again, there is a physical collection of those too. But
yeah,
those are
yeah, that's what I mean. They need to
limited
do something a little bit different, like have a mix of some of the maybe some of the Game Boy collections. You know, some of the ones that aren't on there. Maybe put well, no, Symphony of the Night would. I don't know. I don't know if I would want that though.
No, Symphony of the Night has already been. They actually came out recently with a bundle that had Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night together.
Yeah, that's right.
And I don't even know. Isn't that in one of the
Castlevania
collections?
But like, here's what I think would be a good selling point: put the OG Game Boy ones on there. Then there's that weird like one that's not part of the canon, like Castlevania 3, that's like really expensive. Like throw that on there. You know, put ones that put versions that aren't part of the Game Boy Advance collection that you can buy, and then aren't part of the standard one. And I think that would draw people in, except maybe the first Castlevania.
Symphony of the Night was not on the Castlevania Advanniversary collection, but it was released as a separate thing with Blood.
But you know what I mean.
Was it on Steam?
That's what I mean. Put the Vanias on there that you can't just buy either part of another collection that are already there digital, because I think for people coming over for the nostalgia, I don't think having a physical copy is enough. Like there needs to be a little bit more. Like for us it is, but like, you know. Like there needs to be a little more. Nick. And I, you know what, and I say that, man, because like we've gotten to know Nick. Nick has been on Karg, but one of the reasons I will pay tribute to someone like Nick, someone like Panda Sub, because like especially in the retro space, it's difficult to do stuff. And like Nick's chat, like he's doing something like very different, right? Like people that do like documentaries and whatnot, they go after the popular things. No, he goes after like, hey, here's this, like if there's like some cool weird like gaming device that you've never heard of, he's probably done a video on it, and that's what's so great. Like you get learned on his channel, you know, and it's always fun. They're done like in, you know, they're done in bites. Every now and then, you know, he'll do like a little bit longer 20-30 minute one, but it's great. So that's why it gets me excited. He's one of the YouTubers that when I get a notification and I see something, I get excited. So
no, his stuff is really good. It is good stuff, for sure.
Yeah. Konami Collection 1, 2, and 3. And Castlevania Unlocked. I need to find this Game Boy Color.
I think it was just regular Game Boy. I don't think it was Game Boy Color. You're talking about Kid. It was called Kid Dracula, right?
No, there's two things. There's a okay, Game Boy Color. Wait, Game Boy Color Castlevania. No, that's the Circle of the Moon. On a second, I will find it.
But isn't that what you're talking about, Kid Dracula?
That's another one, yeah, like that, because that's very, especially the US version is like very expensive. Or it could have just been. I know there was a collection where they put all all three, like I don't know, the OG ones, and there's also Kid. But even if they're just the OG black and white ones, because technically the emulator like colorizes it. But yeah, I want it would, because the first two Castlevanias on Game Boy were different. Put those two and throw like in Kid Dracula, and then like something else, and call it a collection. You know, I think that would kind of draw people in, because they'd be like, huh, maybe I've never played the Game Boy, and then there's, you know, Analog Pocket and all. Oh, so real quick, so this is maybe, hey, Rigatoni.
What's up, man? Long time no see.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. yeah, no kidding. So maybe more of a card topic, but while we're talking all these retro goodness and all these different things, something, and if y'all didn't, and I keep referencing My Little Pixel, but I can't help it. I admittedly, like, different weird, you know, retro news I get from. So just real quick, analog when they did like their second run of like the Super Nintendo and like their version of like the Genesis NT Noir or whatever the hell it's called, you know what I mean? What I thought was interesting, because I guess they had to use different hardware, because I don't know the supply chain, but they made it so you have to use their latest firmware. And why is that important? because you can't like jailbreak it. And I guess there was some hubbub, but here's the thing for me, and is that if you're buying a clone console or FPGA and you want to jailbreak it, I think that's dumb. Like, right? Like you're buying it for carts, because if you want to do that, there's so many other methods that you can emulate and play games, and you're not even going to be able to notice a difference. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's my soapbox. Like if you're going to buy a clone console, buy it for original hardware. Otherwise, if you're doing it just to jailbreak it, like, come on, dude. There's so many other ways. I know. Anyways, sorry.
It's all good.
Yeah, so it's like, but kind of like, when you get something like, I was kind of interesting, when you buy something for its intended purpose, like buy an Evercade to play cards, don't try to hack it. That's dumb too. I guess that's where it was. Oh, Ninja Gaiden collection. Yeah, something like that'd be
kind of cool.
Well, oh yeah, that's right. He does have an Evercade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Nick. We'll come over to say hi. We'll hang out.
Dude. Yeah. Yeah, Danastic represents the majority of the fans, and he says it, so we have to make it happen. No, but yeah, I think it's a great. I think it's a great. Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. Yeah, Nick, if you're up for that, it would not right away, because like we're having a skeleton crew of Evercast over the next weeks because of various like undisclosed locations, vacations, and all that stuff. So, and things going on. But yeah, no, we definitely. I think we definitely need to do that. I know it's been a while since we've had a guest that's not Blaze.
Right. It's been a while, for sure.
Oh, he said he hadn't messed. Yeah. Cool. Happy to help out. Yeah, very cool. Yeah. You just need to. That's like you just need to play it before coming up. No, I'm kidding. Of course you can. Just play it for 30 minutes. No. Oh. Right. Oh my goodness. Okay, so as things are winding down a little bit. Lots of great discussion. You know what? I do enjoy. I know it's so. Here's another thing too. We will go back to covering the carts. It's just been a combinations between schedules and work life and people needing to get caught up. So we will go back to reviewing the carts and going through the games.
For sure.
That's something I want to do. But at the same time, where there's kind of like a lull in the news, I do kind of like coming here, hanging out, feeding off the audience and talking to people. It feels a lot like Karg, but Evercade related. So it's
yeah, no, it's awesome. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to hang, for sure.
It's really neat. Retro Game Corps is a guest. Dude, like if he would, yeah, I know he's in Hawaii. There's like a 4-hour time difference. Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, that would be. Yeah, I haven't. I've never reached out and talked to that guy, but I did watch his videos before he fully did that, like as a full time. I don't know if he's as much of a fan, but yeah, no, we'd welcome. Listen, we welcome anybody he would, but like here's what would be great. So here's who I would love to have as an Evercade guest, and there would be a perfect time. Let's say like there is going to be like the John Hancock like indie Evercade collection. Like, oh my god, like dude, I would love to, because don't get me wrong, while someone like Retro Game Corps is cool, passionate, it kind of more about the tinkering handhelds. Like I kind of feel like John's more like he loves physical copies of games, original hardware. I mean, he loves it. He kind of more like he really likes the Evercade. Like he has more of like a passion for it. So that would be a good excuse. Have him come on, dedicate the whole episode talking about his collection. Yeah. So that's I think that's maybe one of the or Riggs. He would be cool to actually. Yeah, and Riggs does actually have a game that's on here.
Yeah, Beavis too.
That's right. Yeah, no, that'd be cool to get his like any of his like 2600 games on something, even if it was like on an Indie Heroes or whatever, because that's how we got Beavis. So
yeah,
no,
and I only mentioned
cool. I mean, Catacombs. I mean, if I had to pick one, I would definitely pick Catacombs over Retro Game Quest, but that'd be pretty rad.
Metal Jesus. I don't know. We may not be bigger, but dude, that would be. So here's like the thing, right? I think so I know that like John Hancock for the most part knows we exist. I comment. I think Rich does too. Watches his videos. He subbed to us on Calling All Retro Gamers. So
Yeah, I mean,
so
he dropped by the channel when I did the Fun for Fives for his games.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
that's right.
he definitely knows that we're around.
And
so.
Pete's met him a few times in real. So that's because in the retro space with people a bit like, listen, if somebody looks upon us and maybe they don't know us and maybe they wouldn't want to spend I get that. Like totally respect. It's not everyone's thing. So who knows? But that would be that dude. We would totally be open to that. I think that would be nice to have another guest here. We do need to. We will go back to, I think starting in July we will go back to having guests back on Karg and all that good stuff. But yeah, it's fun to have guests. Oh hey, look who walked in!
Hey, what's up,
DJC?
What's going on, DJC? What's going on?
The thing I love about DJC, he's very animated. Like his expressions are priceless.
It's you can definitely tell that he's always having a good time, which is awesome. That's the best.
I so much so that cause we're on recently with him. Like I want to Panda subs Panda, he'll be there and you could just get distracted and just crack up just looking at him and he doesn't have to say anything. Oh, you want anybody from Blaze? Actually, yes. So for a while, so there is because we've had Andrew, we've had the CEO, right? We've had Sean on and Ryan. You know who we haven't had that we've really wanted to have on, and that's Amy, because from what I understand, she's the creative brilliance behind doing all the artwork and everything.
Yeah.
So
that'd be a cool conversation.
Yes, I would love her just to come on and just tell her story, how she got, how she heard about Blaze. Was she with Blaze before Evercade? Was she how did she come up with? I would love to know. I would totally geek out over knowing the process behind that. So yes, if we had a request, I know me and Rich have been beating that drum for a while. We'd like Amy to come on. Would just be awesome to hear about all that. Or unless there's unless there's somebody else behind the scenes that we don't know about yet. Who knows? But we know those are the main play. Oh hey, Karsten.
What's going on?
Radical Red. Yeah, it's fun. People now are naming random random
get
YouTubers.
all these people. It's all right.
but one thing to be clear, so we listen, we just don't want to have, let's say, a big YouTuber on who doesn't have as much passion about Evercade just to get attention. That's not, you know what I'm we'll have anybody, but we, some of the people that we mentioned, we know have more a passion. We would prefer that just because, because it's kind of when you all have seen sometimes there's some other YouTubers out there who they've never made Evercade content and then they get sent an EXP. And it's kind of different, which is great to spread the word, to spread the word of Evercade. But you could tell because they weren't their passion just isn't there, which is totally understandable because maybe it's not their thing on their channel. And so that's all,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool.
Huh? Who is this Bacon Ice Cream Productions guy? Yeah, I've heard of him.
He was talking about Phil, No Swear Gamer.
Oh, okay.
He does Evercade content.
Okay, I must have missed that. I thought he was making a joke. I'm I don't know, Rich. What would it take to get this elusive Bacon Ice Cream Productions guy on?
Yeah,
I've heard so much about him.
I don't know how to get him.
I've heard he's been really busy. He's been going to too many games
and see that. Oh yeah, I mean Crazy Burger, Sir Top and Hat, they'd be awesome to get some more people on.
Yeah. Sir Top Hat. I'm sure he would. Yeah, but when is that? I've seen. I don't know. I know of him not well, but that would be.
It's good stuff.
It would be a.
So.
Oh, cool! Some of the nice things to say too about your part review, David Hansen.
Well, that's what I hear, but don't reflect that.
He's that's why.
Yeah, I saw that one drop, and I was like, oh man.
Well,
I almost put it on put it on for the ride, but I actually want to watch.
Yeah,
so I just put out a podcast.
Because I finally got it done. As I wanted to finish it by Tuesday. I wanted to get it up, and I got it done by Monday. The problem is it took me 2 days to get it exported.
For sure.
Oh, wow.
Because it kept exporting wrong. It kept coming out with audio, no video. And then when I finally got portions of it, I was well, that's a big mistake. I need to fix that. And
nice. Cars are saying they would want both at the same time. Wow. Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we can. We'll see what we can do for sure.
Yeah, we'll reach out to people and say, hey, let's come and hang out. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. To be
Especially,
honest,
like, that would
I'd rather
actually
have
be
one.
kind of
I'd rather
cool
have
during like
yeah.
the wait, right? Just
Yeah,
have some
yeah.
guests and just hang out for a couple episodes. That'd be neat.
Yeah, I'd rather kind of have one of them on at a time to get to know what would interest you guys. Is that a question for us?
Oh
Like,
yeah. I mean, having Andrew on
oh,
or any of the other super testers, yeah. Why not?
yes,
Right?
dude, we'd
They're all
welcome.
great
Yes,
people.
yes,
The super testers.
yes, totally. Would be
Why not?
and yeah,
Hit us up.
yeah. Hit up me and Rich like on
Yeah.
Discord and whatever.
Yeah, any of the I mean, any of the British YouTubers. I mean, I've been on. I mean, it hasn't been for a really long time, but I've been on other podcasts on the other side there, on the British YouTube side. Well, why not? Yeah. Well, we've had that open invite for a lot of people on you know, when they were doing Everchat and like all kind of stuff. We had open invites for just about everyone on the panel, so that'd be awesome.
Yeah, no, Sir Toppinat would be nice because he does like so many like Twitter posts.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, yeah, the Twitter stuff that he puts out is like, it's awesome.
Does he have a YouTube channel or not? Because I'm gonna feel bad if he does.
Sure.
And I didn't. Yeah, I want to say he doesn't. So I want to say he's more elusive. So it'd be great to, you know,
yeah, have him hang out.
because he completed 200 Evercade games, right? Like he beat and got sent that plaque, if I remember.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear the story behind. That would be great. Like the story behind it, like what made him go for that. Did it just kind of casually start out, or was he like aiming? Like was he aiming for that goal? Yeah, but you know what? That would Julian, that would be interesting. And so like, hey, say like, hey, like, you know, how do you feel about like Gremlin collect? Like maybe some of these collections or things that maybe, you know, they have a more of appreciation for. Yeah, that would be.
Well, yeah, I could see that in a lot of.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think we're gonna get a lot of different perspectives. Yeah.
But yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, there, you know, but yeah, Blaze message us. I can't even talk. Crazy Burger. I was almost about to say a boy and his blob, boy and his dog, and who else? Sir Toppinat. Yes, yeah. Feel free to like reach out to me and Rich, Discords or Twitters or whatever. Although if it's gonna be over the next week or two, Rich will be your best bet because I may be in an undisclosed location where I don't have internet. So if I don't, or I'd have to wait till I get back. But yeah, no, we do. We would welcome that, and it'd be great to get people's different perspectives. And actually, maybe what we would do too. Like let's say we had someone like Sir Toppin had on here, then maybe we do like a follow up like on Karg where it's like, hey, here's everything Evercade. Now let's talk about like here's the other.
Yeah,
you know what?
Cool.
And you know what? We need to. And I know Sean is super busy. Sean said he would come on Karg to talk. You know, because just to talk about.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Solitary confinement. Yes, pretty much. Shh! Don't tell anyone. You all are so awesome. But and that's and that's what and that's why we do this. And I feel like with the four of us, the fourth one, Pete, who's not here unless Pete's watching. Like we've created like this like community of like-minded people who just it's just fun, and that's why we do all this type of stuff. So okay. So anyways, we probably should wrap up for final thoughts. I know I do have to go pick up my kiddo from like a birthday party and stuff here soon. So Rich, what do you got going on your channel next week? And
well, this coming week is probably going to be a Too Many Games takeover. There was lots of stories that came out of the convention, lots of games that I want to talk about, and some actually I want to actually directly pitch like a connection between game developer and people over at Blaze to look at some stuff. There's some really cool indie developers that are doing neat things that may actually be a cool fit. So check that out. On the Karg side of things, we're gonna have Karg this week, which is gonna be awesome. We're gonna do it early because of your undisclosed location visiting. And also today, at some point, I actually got it up on the timeline right now. I'm editing down a 1 credit quick look that happened at Too Many Games. So that'll be going up in probably, I don't know, maybe an hour or two.
Oh yeah, and that's the one you sent me that picture. That
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I just had to like search a little bit because there was like, they pull out all the greats at a place like Too Many Games. Like, so you have everything flooded with like Mortal Kombat and Pac-Man and Galaga and Marvel. There's a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet and all this other stuff. So I was like, I need to find one that I've never played before because that's the whole point of card. And then I did, and it was awesome.
Yeah, that's what had me curious. I'm like, I don't know if I've seen or heard. Yeah, but I was intrigued. So
it's pretty cool. So yeah, check it out. It'll definitely be going up tonight. So that's pretty much me.
What about you, Crow?
Well, tomorrow on the Crow Continuum channel, I'll be streaming Jet Set Radio, since that won the poll.
Nice.
And then I was thinking, what's winning the poll on the Crow Pinball channel? Because I do the same thing on the Pinball channel, but Wednesdays. And the winner on at the end of Mondays, the table I play on like Pinball Effects. And I just looked and I'm shocked that My Little Pony is winning the poll right now, beating out Darth Vader and Jurassic Park and Guardians of the Galaxy. I guess there's people who really want to see that My Little Pony table. All
right.
Yeah, they want you to have to like suffer to play. I get it. Yeah, no.
I've played the table before. It's so easy. It's gonna be a boring stream for me.
It'll be boring for you, but entertaining for everyone else. That's why
I think anybody could like do everything in that table. I think the table is meant for kids. But there's that. Hopefully, I can start playing in Toe Plan Arcade too. But I also have like all the video from those other pinball streams, and there's parts of those streams I've been meaning to take out and make into separate videos, just because they are things like how to do this or how to do that some people may not know how to do. Especially like getting a super jackpot in Fishtails, which is the achievement for that table, because not only is it difficult to know like what it is, but it's also difficult to do. Because I thought I wasn't going to be able to do it, and I just, like, the last game I was playing that stream, it just happened. So I think I have to make a separate video on that. But that's like, we're talking about stuff I've done weeks ago. So I've got weeks and weeks and weeks of stream footage that I want to go through and figure out if any of that stuff should be separate video.
Yeah. I believe there's a few Evercast members that need to get caught up on their carts, like everyone else but me. So yeah, how do you guys?
Hey, can you say that you've beaten every game and every cart that's come out?
No, that's not my intention.
I can't say that either. I didn't start beating every game and every cart until like I can't remember, like cart 11, 12, 13 or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen, I think,
but like I was shocked that like almost every game, like 15 out of the 16 games in Indie Heroes Collection 2 can be beaten.
Yeah. I want to say for arcade, I do that because usually it's like 30 minutes an hour, depending on between that. Depending
you want
on
to
the
take
game.
a guess at how long it takes to beat Yeah Beavis 2?
I think my save state is like I don't know. Like I feel like I'm like a level 50, a long time.
It's about 2 hours.
2 hours, yeah. Wow. I think I'm halfway.
That's a lot
2 hours
game,
of the same 10 levels again and again and again.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How many total cycles is it?
10 cycles.
10
cycles of 10 levels.
10 of 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it doesn't even get harder. It's just a color cycle like change.
Really?
Like yeah.
Huh.
I was like,
that's interesting.
Yeah, actually, so this will be kind of check out. So yeah, I didn't kind of an update that for Pico 3, and there's certain games and things on it, and whatnot. So just for a recap of something. So next week, Evercast will be hosted by Rich. So there'll be polls, and then the week after that, we'll kind of we'll let you all know. Either it may just be Rich and Crow, or we may just take a break, and depending what everyone has going on, because due to the limitations of StreamYard, either me or Rich have to host it. So that's for the technical point. Otherwise, if either of us can't do it, it can't. That's why like Crow couldn't go on by himself or something. So or like Pete couldn't.
I could. It'd just be on my channel.
Exactly. But yeah, so definitely that'll be there. And then I think as I talked about before, since I really needed to update my the trailer. Maybe that'll be motivation for us to update the card trailer, because I just cringe. But so that it's next week the content. It's a minute of that, but I think y'all will like it. it is a little tedious to kind of like pick certain moments. I definitely did like a throwback to like one of my like first YouTube videos, you know, when I did kind of dress up. So that character's briefly in there, and then maybe like there's a Slim Jim moment in there. But anyways, but it so that I put out there being a trailer, and then I think the following week after that it will be like maybe another it would be like a chill and chat session. And I'll just kind of tease what I think the topic on that is going to be, like why I don't play like MMOs and why I play like Evercade and why like I really don't play MMO. Just gonna I figured that would kind of be fitting. That's something that technically could go on Karg, but it does relate to Evercade and why I kind of got back into indie games and all that. Plus, this is like my audience that I want to have that go to. And then who knows? And then who knows after that? And then don't forget memberships will be coming soon. Again, a couple weeks, because I'm going to put some, I have some ideas and I'm going to put some thought into it to make it more fun for those of you who want to be more involved, and those who don't, who just don't want to stay sub. That's 100% totally cool too. One of those like new pumped, like like when the community tab came out, I was all over it. So, alrighty,
Cool stuff.
See you in the next show. Watch videos in the meantime. Cool. Any last?
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and thanks everyone again. Keep watching, and I'm just amazed the number of people that always show up, and really appreciate everyone's involvement and and everything. And before I play us out, Crow, anything you want to play so I don't override?
Mayo days. Mayo days.
That's always excellent.
That's a good.
Alrighty, everybody. And once again, thanks for watching, and bye-bye.
See ya.